Hello everyone, I'm Hotel Delta, and today what I've got for you guys is my thoughts and opinions on Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered. So I did this a few days ago for Infinite Warfare during the beta, and I did enjoy doing that as well. It was really fun to kind of get my hands on the game after seeing a load of gameplay and give you guys my sort of initial review on that. And now I'm going to do the same for Modern Warfare Remastered. So the deal is here is that Raven, the studio behind the remaster of COD 4, actually put these servers, the online servers up on multiplayer for a little while the other day because they were stress testing the servers, I believe. So I was lucky enough to actually manage to get on there by joining some of the players on the Call of Duty PlayStation community. So I managed to get in a few games of multiplayer, not too many, but enough to get a feel for it again, because I haven't played this game in so long, but I did play the absolute crap out of it during its prime. But Modern Warfare Remastered, it's really good. I think this is the perfect remaster of a classic. They've been so careful, and they've said this loads of time, Raven. The guys have come out with their vid docs and stuff, and they've talked about how they've been so careful with how they've gone about remastering this game and making sure it stays true to the original, while also adding additions to the game which are fun but don't actually impact gameplay. They're purely cosmetic or visual effects. So basically I can only give this as much as a review as I would COD 4. I mean, there's nothing else that in itself is dramatically different, but I will talk a little bit about the new features and what I do think of them. So one of the new features which I get a little bit addicted to is the weapon inspect. So this is very much like CSGO, whether you might say they ripped it off from there or not, well, that's up to you really, but to be honest, games do this all the time. It's not ripping off, it's not even copying really, it's just taking ideas from another game that they like and then implementing it into their own game because they think it suits their own game, and I think that's a good thing. Another thing that's really cool is the way they've customized the HUD now and all the visuals and stuff. So originally in the old game it was kind of a boring, like obviously this was back when technology wasn't as good. The HUD was very different, the font was a little bit different, and everything just looked not as good as it does now. They've definitely given it a new coat of paint with the remastered version. Like, it's not a straight copy of the menus. The HUD, the menus, the graphics, all of that is very different now, and it does suit the game perfectly. I'm glad that the choice they made with it does suit it very well, and you still get that Modern Warfare feel, which is really good. Another thing that's really cool that they've added to the game is the personalization options. There is actually a personalization menu within Play Online, and in here you actually have now calling cards. So if you were unaware, calling cards and emblems were not in the original game. They are now, and that's a really cool feature because this doesn't impact gameplay at all, and honestly you can't complain about it because it's literally, it just adds to the depth of the game. You unlock these just by ranking up and completing challenges, so you can get yourself some cool emblems and player cards, and then you can customize which ones you want to put on your player card profile. The other things they've added is the weapon sticker. From what I sound, I haven't actually seen this because it was locked and I never managed to get to unlock it, but I believe this is basically putting your emblem on your weapon. I believe you could do this in older COD, but it wasn't called weapon sticker. It simply put your sort of emblem on your gun, but I think it might actually look like a sticker in this game, which is something completely new. If not, then oh well, it's got a cool name anyway, and it probably is going to look a little bit like how it did in, I believe it was Advanced Warfare that might have had it. Another thing to note is Modern Warfare Remastered is running on what I believe to be either a modified version of the Advanced Warfare game engine or the actual Advanced Warfare game engine. You can notice this, like subtle things like sounds which have been reused from Advanced Warfare, some sounds, not things that are like really noticeable, just you'll pick up on these things if you're a, you know, hardcore Call of Duty fan. Some of the animations, things like that, visual effects, some of that, it comes from Advanced Warfare. So maybe Sledgehammer Games had an influence on this game, I'm not sure, but it is pretty cool to see the new graphics and everything. Everything just looks so much nicer, so much sharper and clearer, and it's just much more immersive than the old game was. In terms of actual overall feel of this game, I do get a sense of new. Like, I don't feel like this is a copy and paste of Modern Warfare Remastered, and that's a good thing. It's like, it's literally a new experience in a familiar setting. That's kind of how I would describe it. It's really, really refreshing because it's obviously, this is boots on the ground. This isn't advanced movement. It's modern day. It's something the community have wanted for a long time, and the way they've done it is, it makes me feel like this is kind of like maybe what Modern Warfare 4 would be like, but it got all the stuff that COD 4 has, so it's really nice. It's something refreshing, and you can kind of imagine if Call of Duty 4 was actually made in 2016, this is what it would be basically, and it is really cool. Another new feature they actually have is character patches, so that is something they had in Call of Duty Ghosts, is you could put the patches, which are the emblems you earn, onto your character, and you can now do that as well. So not only can you put your patches on your weapons as like stickers, you can also put them on your soldiers as patches, which I think is a really cool addition as well. They added 10 more prestiges as well, with new prestige icons that kind of match the theme of the original 10 prestige icons, which they've obviously kept, but they've made them look sharper and clearer. The other thing they've done with the prestige system is now when you reach the highest prestige, which is now prestige 20, the level cap is lifted, and just like Call of Duty Black Ops 3, you can go all the way up to level 1000, which I think is really cool. Now I'm not sure if they're going to call it prestige 20 or master prestige. I'm kind of going to think it might be master prestige, but we'll have to see for that. They added in new camos as well. I think this was more of a controversial thing, because the camos is something you see in game, and it's something that may or may not affect people's representation of the original. They added camos like nickel plated, which is basically like chrome, dragon skin, which looks really nice, neon tiger. Both of them kind of like CSGO skins, which is not a bad thing at all. They actually look really cool. They also added some really subtle ones like olive drab and flat desert, something like that, which are basically just like flat colors, like tan, which is obviously like a bright brown or like a yellowish desert color, and then the olive drab, which is like a military green, and they look really nice on the guns as well. They're done really well, but there's no supply drops. These new camos you unlock through new challenges. So originally in the old game, all of the camo challenges were headshot challenges. Now all of the original camos are headshot challenges, and the new camos are different challenges. So for example, some of the new camos you have to get kills without any attachments on that weapon, and some of them you have to get kills with a particular attachment on the weapon, like a reflex sight or something, which I think is really cool. They're not too hard to do. I mean, that's really easy to do, to be honest, and with a game that doesn't have many attachments anyways, the no attachment one is easy, and the attachments that are in the game, like the suppressor and the reflex sight, which it asks you to use, are easy to use anyway. Anyone can use them, it's no problem at all. So it's really good how they've done everything. Like all the original rank icons are back, the sharpness has been updated, but they are exactly the same. Everything from the sounds in the menus has been changed a little bit, which they sound really cool now and they suit the game very well. You can sort of see your character 3D rendered in the menus, which is also really awesome. It looks like it does in Infinite Warfare, which I think is awesome. And you can also now preview the factions, so you can see what your character looks like on the different factions. Obviously you can't actually customize the look of your soldier. The only thing you can actually do to your soldier is put the patch on. That's literally it, which is kind of a good thing. It means it doesn't affect the gameplay too much. They did add medals, which if you're unaware, these weren't around in Call of Duty since I believe Black Ops 2, I think, was the first to add medals. And medals are basically like accolades. Like originally they were called accolades and they didn't show up on your HUD, but medals were kind of the reinvention of accolades, but they showed up on your HUD. You get XP for them. It's things like headshots, shooting through a wall and stuff like that. And pretty much all of the medals in this game are taken from Advanced Warfare, like the names of them, what they actually are, rather than the Black Ops games. So that's something that's pretty cool. If you don't like the medals, you can actually turn them off. Like you still earn them, but you don't see them pop up on your HUD, so it kind of works like accolades then. If you know, a really hardcore veteran COD 4 player and you want to get the most COD 4 experience ever, you can turn the medals off. There's a lot of things you can actually turn off as well. I can't remember them all off the top of my head, but there's a lot of things you can turn off that they've added in if you don't like it. One of the things they also did take from Advanced Warfare, making use of the engine, is the firing range, which was an awesome addition to Advanced Warfare, and I'm really gutted it didn't reappear in Black Ops 3 or Infinite Warfare. But the firing range basically is when you're on your loadout screen in the menus, you can hit options or the menu button on Xbox One, and it will take you straight into a firing range with no loading time whatsoever. And the firing range in Advanced Warfare was the one in the Atlas facility. The one in this game is actually taken from the first campaign level FNG. That shooting range that you train in is basically exactly that. It's modified slightly, like the doors locked and some of the things have been moved around, like the assets and stuff, but it's pretty much the exact same. You go into the little like cell thing, and then the targets pop up one by one with a timer, and you can test your weapons out, or you can walk around with the weapon in different lighting. You can inspect it, so you can really look at your classes and get a feel for the weapons before you even go into a match. You can do this in the pre-game lobby if you want as well, while you're waiting to go in, which is really cool. Talking about pre-game lobbies, there's now a voting option, so this wasn't in the original. This didn't come about till Black Ops 2 either, I think, or maybe it was Modern Warfare 3. Or 2, you could vote for a map, so you get your 3 selections. You get the next map, the previous map, and then a random map, so you can vote for that before you start the game, and then obviously the map with the most votes is the one you'll load into in that lobby. I think they've updated the matchmaking system as well. I think it may be running on the same new matchmaking system that Infinite Warfare is, so that's a good thing as well. Like, the matchmaking seemed very good for me, even when they were testing the servers. It didn't get any lag, didn't get any host migrations. I got put into lobbies really quickly, put into games really quickly, so that all works very well. I'm not sure if it's got the pre-map loading that Infinite Warfare has, where you're in a lobby and it loads the map in the background, so you go super fast into the map. I did notice I was going really fast into a map, but I'm not sure if it was the same speed as Infinite Warfare. If that is a feature in the game, then that's really good, because I did seem to load in quite fast to maps, which is a good thing. It keeps the pace going. When you're starting up a game, you have the match countdown timer. That's all brand new. It all looks really nice. They added kill cams, round ending kill cams that weren't in the original, so that's a nice little feature, where they have the slow-mo feature as well. The scoreboard and everything's been remade to look nice and thin with a new theme and the HUD. Things like the ring pull on the grenade is completely new. Like, originally it sounded like a really weird click that was very noticeable and distinctive, but at the same time it didn't sound realistic at all, and it was a little bit annoying, if anything. So they updated that and it sounds like an actual ring pull now, which is really cool. They haven't touched anything gameplay wise. Like, all the perks, even the annoying ones like Last Stand, Matadom, and, you know, Stopping Power, Juggernaut, all of them are in the game. You can choose, you can use them. You know, there's nothing about that you can't do. All the weapons are balanced exactly the same. Like, the M16 is still overpowered, stuff like that. They're all exactly the same as they was. They haven't affected anything like that, which is really good. So if you're worried about that, you don't have to worry about that. It's completely the same. They added a new kill marker, which is one of the things of the more recent games. So you obviously get the normal white hit marker, and then when you get a kill, it turns red, so you know you've got the kill, which is pretty cool. They also added a new asset for when you call in kill streaks. The UAV and the attack helicopter, he basically pulls out a radio, which is really cool, because in the original they used the C4 clacker, which made no sense whatsoever. And he also has like a military tablet he uses to call in the airstrike, which is pretty cool. They didn't mess around with the kill streaks at all. Like, they work exactly how they did in COD 4. Like, you can't shoot down the UAV, you can't even see it, and the airstrike isn't a precision airstrike. You literally select an area and then the airstrike comes in from a random direction. And the attack helicopter, obviously there's no launchers in this game apart from the RPG-7, which is a perk, not a actual weapon class, but you only need to land one shot and you take it down, even though the RPG is extremely inaccurate. You do get 2 shots with it though. So obviously a lot of these things you may have already knew, but there are players that are going to come into this game who have never played COD 4, and they want to get that classic experience, because there is a thing that people forget is not everyone can just go back and play COD 4, because the game is hacked to shit. Like, literally any lobby you go into, you're probably going to meet someone who's going to derank you, or worse, like he'll ban you or something like that. Like, you'll get hacked or something, and it's not as fun. Like, there's at least one person hacking in every lobby on COD 4, and the lobbies are pretty depopulated now, considering there's a lot of Call of Duties out, and especially now the remasters out, most people are going to transfer to this. So this is the prime time for people who haven't played COD 4 to play it. So anyone who hasn't played COD 4, obviously all of this I'm saying now is probably new to you, which is a good thing. I can let you know about that. So initial thoughts, it definitely felt like the original. It played like the original, it felt like the original, but there was this new refreshing feel, which is really good. I'm glad about that. It gives me something else to play, and it does feel new in a way, which is good. I didn't want it to be a copy and paste, if you know what I mean. Ask for things I didn't like about it. I really can't say that I disliked anything about the remaster. The only things I disliked was the things that were in COD 4 originally, and obviously they're not going to take them out for the remaster because there would be a backlash from the fans about that. So things like Juggernaut, Stopping Power, Last Stand, Matadom, all of that, I hate all of it with all of my soul, but they're still in the game, and that's fine because it's a remaster. I accept that. But apart from that, as looking at it as a remaster, it is perfect. There's nothing wrong with it. They did add in some new game modes. I think actually Kill Confirm might be the only new one, which obviously is really nice. They added that in. The Kill Confirm game mode is awesome. And I feel they may have updated the announcers as well, the voiceovers for the announcers. They felt new to me, which is a good thing. I like that. And obviously that doesn't affect gameplay either. So everything they've added in doesn't affect how you play the game. Like, the game still plays exactly the same. It feels a little bit different, but in a good way. It feels new and something enticing me to play it, rather than just, oh, I've played this before, it's getting bland now kind of thing. So yeah, basically that's all I've got to say about Modern Warfare Remastered. It's really, really, really good reimagining of a classic game, and I highly suggest, if you haven't gotten a collector's edition of Infinite Warfare, but you are getting Infinite Warfare, then to take advantage of the digital little upgrade program if you are getting a digital copy. If not, I would maybe recommend cancelling your pre-order and getting the collector's editions just to get Modern Warfare Remastered, because it is really worth it, honestly. So yeah, on the channel soon I'll have some gameplay as well of Infinite Warfare and Infinite Warfare Zombies. So yeah, thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you on the next video. Hotel Delta out.